Welcome traders, this is TonyD from the easyMarkets dealing room. I'm the chief dealer here in Sydney. I'll be going over today some of the platform's resources for traders. So in the first episode we talked about opening and closing and modifying a trade. In this episode we're going to be talking about how do I get information about things which are going to affect my trades. How can I get trade information and trade ideas? Well, that's very simple. There's lots of different ways to get information about the market. But on the platform itself, you are going to have access to a few straight off the bat that you can get in-house without even changing your screen. So down below in the tabs, I've got the Australian dollar here. This is a very common pair to be trading if you're a new trader, especially if you're from the APAC region. And the first thing you'll notice, if I was to change the pair I was looking at by clicking on the left-hand side market watch area, it will change the pair that's inside the deal ticket. Now if I'm changing to the Australian US dollar, what this also does have the effect of not just changing the deal ticket, but changing the resources that you'll be receiving for it. So if I click on the charts down here, you'll see the Australian dollar chart, and if say you want to look at a big chart or you have two screens, you can click on the expand view here. It will open up the Australian dollar chart in a new window, and that way you can have access to the Australian dollar, maybe the euro dollar at the same time, and that'll assist you in if you have two screens, you can put it on the other screen, but also has a bigger charting window to do your analysis there, get a bigger view of where the market is, a little bit easier on the eyes. If you're looking for market information like financial calendar here, you'll be saying, well, the financial calendar on this area, it's going to load up with all the market events coming up, and it's also going to give you the time in GMT time. So you're going to have to put your trader cap on there, convert that to Australian time, but basically at 2 GMT, 12 midday, RBA Governor, 12 midday Sydney, the RBA Governor was speaking. Now if you wanted information on what he said, you thought it might be helpful to know how the Aussie dollar is traveling, well then you can go to the market news area, and there should be a report there, and there's multiple reports here about what the governor has been speaking about, and so you quick browse through here, you can see that there is nothing there that is hard hitting in terms of rates or the Aussie dollar. So the market probably didn't move too much. Check the charts. No, it hasn't really moved too much in the last couple of hours, down a little bit, but nothing substantial. So if you're looking at the charts and you're looking for support, then you'd say, oh, okay, the previous low, and seems to be finding support around the 75.60, 75.50 area. We'll have a look and see if we can hold here, because that data has finished. But if you're looking further ahead, you look for mainly the red data as a trader, and although some of these other data can be important, red data is the most important. So you've got UK CPI, that's very important, and then later, Fed, the Fed meeting from the US, and then a Fed speech from Powell. Okay, so the looks like that's 4 AM Sydney time. You do have the FOMC decision, and then half an hour later you got the press conference. Both of those are very important, and that's the day ahead. You got UK CPI and you got US FOMC. Now if you scroll down further, you will see what's happening tomorrow, but most of the time you'll be focused on what's happening today. That should give you enough sort of insight to avoid pairs that may have big news, or not get surprised if you are in those pairs, or to check the reaction of the market afterwards. If you were to come back to this pair later, and after 6:30 tonight, you'll see the UK CPI numbers have been updated, and from that you'll be able to see the read there on how far the market's moved or not moved, based upon those numbers. And so that's a very important part of trading. What exactly those numbers come out as will dictate a lot for that particular pair on that night. Now some of the features here that you're also going to see straight off the bat as well is you're going to see trading signals. What I'm going to do is I'm going to have to log into a live account to get those signals, because if you were on a demo account, you're not going to have access to that. So let me just quickly log into a live account to get access to these trading signals. Now on each pair, every 8 hours or so, there is going to be a new signal put out for the pair you're watching. So we're looking for that Australian dollar before. Let's have a look and see if we can't find the latest signal on the Australian dollar. So once you've funded your account, you have access to these for free. We want to see all Australian dollar intraday. You want to make it bigger, you can pop it out there, put it next to your chart to see what's going on. So they're looking for the Australian dollar downside bias here technically. It has been under pressure, that is true, and they're looking for 74.50, 75.40 and 75.20 to be the targets, and their pivot point from which they remain bearish is 75.95. Above this, the alternative scenario above 75.95, you're looking for a further upside with 76.25 and 76.45. Now these lines here, green, are known as resistance, and these red lines are known as support, and this is the pivot line from which the market turns bearish to bullish. So while we're underneath 75.95, their preference is to be short. Short positions below 75.95, targeting 75.40, 75.20. Let's have a look at another pair, the Euro USD. No surprise it is also under pressure because the US dollar is the common component of both those pairs. So if your Aussie is going down, generally the Euro is going down in the same day, and that's played out a lot in a lot of technical analysis as well. So this pair, they're looking for the market to go to 117.10, 116.80, and that's their preference, whilst the market is below the pivot, which is 117.75. Now above 117.75, looking for the target to go to the top side, 118.10, 118.40. Once again, the green is the resistance and the red is the support. And that is important when you're trading, to use the right terminology so you don't get confused. If you're looking at a pair which is quoted slightly different, just to mix things up a little bit, the Japanese yen is not quoted yen versus US dollar, it's quoted US dollar versus yen. So when we're talking about the US dollar getting stronger against the Australian dollar, we're talking about the Australian dollar rate going down. But with dollar yen, when we're talking about the dollar yen getting stronger, we're talking about the dollar going up against the yen. And if we're looking at the technicals for today, no surprise that they're looking for US dollar strength against the euro and the Aussie. Then you're probably looking for US dollar strength against the on the dollar yen as well. So against most dollar pairs, you should see that strength, as it's gaining against everything right now. Now this comes in at the blue line is the pivot, so 110.10. While we're above 110.10, long positions targeting 110.85, 111.15, and alternatively, if we're below 110, then they're targeting 109.80, 109.50. These are the supports, these are the resistances. So using this, a combination of financial calendar, your charting, and the trading signals, you do have a good swathe here of resources to pick the levels on your pair that you're trading. Make sure that you're not taken by surprise by a big piece of data. This one didn't cause any movement, but it could have, and this one is yet to come, so it will affect the pound. If you open a pound trade right now, you have to be watching there come 6:30 or 8:30 GMT, which is 6:30 Sydney time, and that will potentially make or break your trade depending on your direction. If I was looking at the pound in particular, on this one for the final update, they are bullish on the pound above 133.45, and they're targeting the resistances at 134 and 135.25. Below 133.45, they're targeting 133.05, 132.80. Alright traders, that's completing the trader resources part of the tutorial. Next episode we'll be looking at unique features and risk management tools on the easyMarkets platform to assist you with your trading.